Sweet. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
But God, sorry, squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very cool that you have had the opportunity that you can associate with what, women and like people of color, people that are just different in general
Mhm.
can deal with, because lots of white dudes don't ever get that. And if they do, they don't, I guess, take it into consideration the
Mhm.
way that it seems you have.
Well,
So,
I'll concede that. Well, I do like to I like to explore qualitative as well as quantitative data. So throughout my time studying sociology, I found that qualitative data was really good at allowing me to see through the perspective of others.
mhm.
And then quantitative data allowed me to see large scale trends and understand what was happening at the macro scale. And I found that psychology and economics and more of the math centered sciences were really based on large scale trends. And then I found that an equally beneficial way to understand that was understanding the plight of the people within those groups and those demographics. And
Mhm.
so I try to make a conceited effort to understand both the people in the group and the group itself. And but I will concede that I did enjoy it for a brief stint. Um, I do think that men get far less attention than girls do, and so
Absolutely.
initially when that can be a positive thing, and it can also be a negative thing if it's exacerbated to a point and it hits a point of potential objectification. But so when I was first there, I did quite enjoy it. I thought it was cool to be getting so much attention, and girls would run over and touch me and giggle, and
Yeah.
little kids would come over and want to hang out, and then as time went on, it became more and more frustrating as it wasn't a novelty.
Yeah, I think that that's actually a really good point that you brought up, because I feel like a lot of issues that, come from like catcalling and, women being touched unwantedly and stuff like that in public is kind of from men who have never gotten that kind of attention before. So, like, I've definitely I read a lot of studies. I don't know which one exactly I'm referring to right now. I can find it and link it to you, but I did hear someone speaking once about how a lot of men who don't receive compliments all the time throughout their life, the way that, women typically do, have a harder time associating what like an appropriate compliment is to give someone, like saying like, "Hey, you're hot," or something, like yelling that on the street to someone. Like, for a woman, it's just kind of like, "Oh, like go away, like don't talk to me." But that man who might be saying it, and I'm not like excusing the like
Mhm. No, I
catcalling, but like
understand.
that man might think that that's an appropriate comment to make because that's not something that someone's ever told him, and he wishes that someone would say that to him, right? So there's definitely, it's interesting that you say like, yeah, I enjoyed it at first, and then it, got a little bit annoying, because that's, pretty much what happens every single day between women, like, and then men just don't know which compliments are appropriate, right?
Mhm.
So it makes a lot of sense. That's not normal.
Yeah.
Like, your experience is extremely normal. Welcome to womanhood.
Yeah, I'm still riding on a compliment I received about a blue shirt that I had 5 years ago. So that's, I think
Lovely.
that's that's something that a lot of my friends can agree with, is that like you receive a compliment once and then you live on that for 4 or 5 years until your next compliment, and then
Oh, totally. And like, a genuine compliment is just so great, like if you do something with your hair that was, kind of a risky choice, and you weren't sure if it was going to pay off or something, and you weren't sure how you were going to feel about it, and you did it anyway, and someone like genuinely is like, "Oh, I love your hair." That's like going to make you feel good, right? But if someone's like, "Oh, damn, like nice legs, like nice body," you're just like, "Thanks, I
mhm.
guess." Like, "Well, look at me." Like, leave me alone, right?
Yeah, I I think that you mentioned something that I would compare to love languages, in that maybe men are making compliments to women seeking out that reciprocal attention towards themselves. An interesting study as well was that male streaker males, the reason that males streak, or not streak, flash, sorry. So
Yeah.
when a male flashes a woman and they're caught, often the reason they did it, they were hoping that the woman would reciprocate sex. That was the goal of that heinous
Yeah.
movement.
Definitely lacking something that
Yeah,
they're searching for.
subtlety maybe. Um, but I think that in terms of love languages, people, something that I've been attempting to do more recently is to understand the way that people want to be loved by observing the way that they love me and other people in the vicinity. So, for example, I'll have a friend that will consistently get people gifts, and maybe
Mhm.
that's the way that they express love to other people. And maybe that's also a unconscious plea for, please get me gifts of the things
Yeah.
I tell you that I really want. And so maybe there's some psychological connection there where the thing that we project outwards most is also something that we crave most to be reciprocated towards us.